Is it Monday? Yes, it is. It is Monday evening, and it's time to talk about real estate. You know how we roll here every Monday night. This is your weekly live dose of real estate reality. My name is Jackie Baker. I'm an agent here in Northern New Jersey. Thank you for joining me this evening. Yes, did you see that title? Desperate sellers are slashing prices now. I think buyers have had it. They've had enough. The mortgage rates, the high prices, and now the sellers are feeling a little desperate. So in certain markets, prices are starting to come down, which I believe it's a good sign. Definitely is a good sign. Maybe it's a sign that we are returning back to some normalcy, maybe some balance. Who knows? But with me tonight, I have a very special guest. He comes all the way from the Virginia, Washington, D.C. market, and I'm so excited to have him with me tonight. I have Mr. Robert Garcia. Hello, Robert.
Hey. Hi, Jackie. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm excited.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
No, I really appreciate being here. So I love having agents from different parts of the country and, sharing your experiences and what's going on in this crazy world we call real estate. So anyway, we chatted a little bit before I started tonight, and talking about this article. Realtor.com is putting out there now. Certain housing markets are starting to see price reductions. I'm praying this is a positive sign of things to come. And I'm sure you can agree, Robert, right?
I agree 100%. We need it. It's like the rain that's needed in the fields of cornfields right now, desperate needed, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's, yeah. We need a lot of rain right now.
Oh, yes. We are the farmers. We need that rain.
Yes, we do. So let me bring this article up. Let's take a look at this. So desperate home sellers are finally slashing prices. Here's where the deals are rising fast. So let's fix my screen here. Okay. High interest rates and a growing glut of homes for sale are leading many homeowners to reduce prices, hoping to entice discerning buyers to bid. And some markets are feeling it more than others. The percentage of homes with price reductions on the rise, increasing from 12.7% in May of 23 to 16.6% in May of this year, according to a recent report from Realtor.com. 46 of the 50 largest metros saw the share of price reductions increase compared with last May, up from 44 in April. Wow. So that's pretty cool. So this says here, the South saw a 4.9 percentage point increase in price reductions year over year. For comparison, the West recorded a 3.3 increase, the Midwest 2.2, and the Northeast the lowest at 1.2. Well, go figure. I mean, the Northeast. come on, we got to catch up to this. So the number of homes on the market in May has increased 34.2% since a year earlier, which has squeezed home sellers even more. Homes are spending an average of 44 days on the market, and that's left many homeowners with no choice but to cut prices. So these are a few of the markets that they mentioned, Robert, in the article. So Tampa, Florida, I'm not surprised. Florida has kind of been, I think they've been leading the way as far as the inventory rising and price reductions. So Tampa has seen a 28.6% of listings have price reductions. And they said that's a 10.9 percentage point increase from last year. Sticking with Florida again, Jacksonville, they had 27.3% of their homes have had price reductions. That's a 10.2 percentage point increase. And Charlotte, I was surprised at this one, Robert. I'm not going to lie. Charlotte, North Carolina had 19.4% of homes had price reductions, and that was an 8.3 percentage point increase from last year. I mean, of all places, I would not expect Charlotte to see this already. I mean, I know it was an overinflated market, with the pandemic and everything, but I was a little surprised to see that, just because we still have so many people from up north moving down to the Carolinas. So I thought that would carry that for a while.
Yeah, but you also keep in mind that affordability is a huge issue, right? And Charlotte has been a kind of like a good affordable city that you can move in, and with prices going up, there's definitely a lot of people that are going to be priced out. The only way these people can re-enter the market it's going to be two things. One, if prices drop to a level they can qualify, or interest rates come down so they can borrow more at a lower pay, and interest rates. If none of those things are happening, yeah, they're going to be forced to exit the market and go back to be renters. And in some places, I think being a renter is cheaper than being a homeowner.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, it's out of control, the rents these days too. I mean, we had an investment property in Delaware. We are closing on it. Knock on wood. We're closing this Friday on it. Fortunately, we got our asking price. Because what we did, because we watched it, I would say starting from like March, I was watching other homes that were coming up for sale in this community, and they were sitting. I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. So we went in aggressive with our price.
That's good.
With as aggressive as we did, we didn't get an offer for it was almost 3 weeks. And we got a full price offer, but still it was still lower than what everybody else was asking, but they were sitting on the market. So
Yep.
Delaware was feeling it. And I think the reason why in that particular scenario, why they're feeling it, these are second homes.
Right.
And the second home market, like we're having it in the Jersey Shore right now, the second home market is feeling it now because of those interest rates. So
exactly. Yeah, that is the thing. And another thing to keep in mind is, look, I love all my fellow real estate agents because we help each other, but there is also a thing here with some realtors don't know how to price houses, and they keep using the comps from like 3 to 6 months ago, and they're going to continue to price higher when in reality they should not go higher. They should be making adjustments to the prices right now because they're not really in sync what it used to be. So I think that's a whole nother thing. And I mean, let's be honest, a lot of agents came into the industry after 2020, easy money, easy in, right? Let's just sell a few houses here and there as a part-time. And now they don't know how the market works. They don't know how to price a house. So I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the summer, early fall, we see a big wave of expired listings because these agents couldn't price them right, couldn't convince their clients to reduce their prices.
That's right.
And then, of course, the sellers say, you know what? It's the agent's fault. Let's blame the agent. And in some cases, the seller's probably going to be right, and some others maybe not. And then you're going to see it. So that's a whole nother thing that is going to happen probably down the road. With all that pressure, I can only see the Federal Reserve having to reduce rates at some point.
Yeah, well, I think they were talking now in September. I think that's the rumor. That's the latest that they're talking about. But to your point about overpricing the home, I think another thing that real estate agents do, I mean, again, I'm not throwing shade to my realtors, but they let the sellers dictate the price.
Exactly.
And if they feel their house is worth $1 million and they insist on that, but we know it's not, they're going to take the listing anyway. I see that a lot. And I mean, even prior to the pandemic, when I would bring, I would show a house and, we felt, my clients and I felt like, it's it's priced a little high. And I would mention something to the agent, I'd be like, oh, so do you think this is in line with, what's, with the comps? And she's like, well, it's not my price. It's their price.
Exactly.
And that happens a lot. And I think you're seeing that now. We're going to have residuals of that because people are still hung up on this crazy seller's market, and they think their house is worth $1 million when it's not. So
it is not. Here for my area, Montgomery County, for months we have only had probably about 6 weeks worth of inventory. I think right now we're probably close to 9, if not 10 weeks worth of inventory. Overnight, the growth is just houses just keep coming on the market, right? They just sellers said, okay, now it's time to sell. Let's put it on the market. Unfortunately, they're not being coached properly. Listing a house in the summer here in this area versus the springtime, 2 different prices. And in the fall, the difference between the spring and the fall market for us here is about 5 to 7%. So if a seller can wait until the next spring market, I will just suggest go on the next spring market. But if you have to sell in the fall, you're just going to have to get hit. So right now we have more inventory, and I guarantee you more of that's going to continue to come. Now things were like proper photography for your listings is starting to become relevant because you have these realtors, they did picture with their mobile phones and they're all crooked. The lighting is not good. And now you're starting to see these houses just like, I mean, they are becoming the memes of social media, all these like poorly taken photography,
Uh-huh.
and people are just talking about it. And now sellers are saying, wait a minute, what am I doing here? What happened here? Why did we go with this person? Now they're
Right.
going to see why it's so important to have somebody that understands the market and he presents the property in a very
Yep.
professional way.
Yep. And I will tell you, I think come the fall, when this whole NAR settlement shakes out, when the whole, the buyers now have to pay for their buyer agent for their representation, that's going to throw a whole other wrench into the market, and it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And speaking of that, I just want to make a comment on that without going too deep, because we don't know what's going to happen. But recently was somebody asked me to go and show a couple houses, and we were looking at the properties, and I had to have this conversation with them about commission and so on the buy side. And there was this listing that the seller was offering zero compensation, and which is fine. We want to go and see it. We don't
Yeah.
care. But I have to explain to them. So I went ahead and called the listing agent, and he was a little bit grumpy. And he said, "Are you going to ask me if we're going to offer compensation?" I said, "Well, I just want to know, what am I going to walk in when I go and see it?" And he said, "It's so funny because no agent wants to show my listing because we are offering no compensation."
Oh my gosh.
And I said, "What?" I said, "Well, why don't you tell your clients?" I already did, but he doesn't believe me. And I said, "Well, you got to just show your client that he or she or they are losing money by not offering something." So that is a whole nother kind of worms that is going to
I
come up
know.
in the fall, that
I know.
we will see that happening.
That's gonna be crazy. But you know what? But that's what got us in trouble to begin with.
Exactly.
That, and now it's like, by doing it this way, that it's putting us back in that same position again. People aren't gonna. Oh my God! I don't know. I have so much to say about that, but that's not the topic tonight. I'm not
Exactly.
gonna get into
Exactly.
it.
Let's just go back where we are.
Anyway, I'm going to get through some of these comments, Robert,
Sure.
if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So we have Trapper Buck. He said, "Can I please give your best estimate on when real estate will go down in northern Minnesota? Is still ridiculously priced at 250,000. House used to sell for 100,000, maybe 125. So I can't really. Nobody can tell you what's going to happen. Your best bet is to contact a local real estate agent in your market to see exactly what's going on, because we're all watching the market in our local markets like crazy. So you get an expert, local expert agent in your market to find out exactly what's going on. Yeah, you said, when is the price cutting finally going to hit? I don't, what? I can't tell you that. And you got to talk to an agent. An agent will be able to tell you exactly the days on market, how long the homes are sitting, if they're seeing any price reductions on their end. You need to speak with a local agent. That's what I would do. Hello, Cindy. I just have to say hi to my friend Cindy. Hi, Cindy. And we have Ninety. Hi, Ninety. I'm so glad you're here. Let me see here. Let me see. Okay. Las Vegas and surrounding towns are seeing a ton of price reductions. Yes, especially condos. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you brought up Las Vegas, because I found another article from Yahoo about the 10 housing markets that will plummet. They will plummet in value before the end of 2024. So, Robert, let me know what you think about this. So they say they're predicting San Francisco, which I'm not surprised at that one. San Francisco's kind of a hot mess right now. So
Oh yeah.
they're saying home values in the city could drop by 5 to 10% by the close of the year. New York, not surprised. I don't even talking about New York City, but they're anticipated to drop 5 to 8%. I mean, New York City, I'm telling you, so many companies are moving out of this city right now, and they're going to places like Texas, because it's just which I'm not surprised, but I won't get into that. Honolulu, Miami, Las Vegas, here you go. So we just mentioned Las Vegas is seeing price reductions. So they're expected, so the average home price is $422,880, and they're expected to drop 4 to 7% by the end of the year. Chicago. So it's funny. It says here, they blame high property taxes, crime rates, and lack of population growth for Chicago's falling home prices. And they're predicted to fall 2 to 4%. Seattle, a little surprised at this one. What do you think about Seattle, Robert? Were you surprised at that?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that.
Um,
Although it's not that big of a drop, yes, you can see compared to the other ones, but
right.
I'm surprised that it's going to make it on the first wave.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised they put this on the list, but 3 to 5%, it's not much. And then we have good old Austin, which Austin's been falling for a while now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so
way
which
overpriced that
oh
market.
my God, it got so
Oh
inflated. It
yeah,
really did.
yeah.
So I'm glad for the people in Austin that they can finally afford a house. Now, here we go. We're in your market now,
Hey, hey,
Washington, D.C.
hey.
Here we go. So, Robert, let's talk about this. So, do you you told me you're starting to see the market cool down in your neck of the woods. So, do you think this is right? I mean, they say they predicted a decrease of 10.2% for 2024. Um, but now they're saying that could drop the median home price is 602, that could drop another 3 to 5% by the end of the year. So what do you think? Now you're in that market. So tell us.
Yeah, I think they're in line with what I think is going to happen with this market.
Right.
As I was mentioning to you before, we have been seeing double digits increase on appreciation for the last 2 3 years. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that has come to the point where the market it's unaffordable to a lot of buyers, especially first time home buyers, millennials that are the ones entering the market. I read a report this morning that it says that in order to be a good millennial buyer and have an affordable payment that you're not going to fall into a delinquency down the road, you need to have about $120,000 as of income and have about 15% down payment. You're talking about a 600,000 property. I mean, let's just be honest, right? These guys, they are dealing with like student loans, student debt. Some of these
Uh-huh.
people just really starting. So one income, it's not doable. So I think we are going to probably see a decrease in this area. In the Washington D.C. metro area has certain like things. Number one is a lot of people move to this area because of the federal jobs, right? There's a lot of federal jobs, subcontractors. So
Yep.
that's a lot of things that kind of keep the market going. And then we have a lot of this good schools too. So if you have in a good school district, so what I think is going to see some pockets of the market are going to start to see price adjustments, and it's a natural adjustment. It's also a seasonal adjustment. We have a saying here: once the 4th of July fireworks go up, prices come down.
Yeah.
And that's really what's going to happen, right? So I think you will see that in 5%. My estimate is 5 to 10%. I think it's in range what's going to happen in the area. And honestly, though, I think it's needed. It's very, very needed right now because a lot of these buyers cannot afford a property. I mean, they just the other day I was talking to this lady that called me one of my listings, and she was just saying to me that she's written 12 offers. And I said, 12 offers? I said, what the heck? I mean, what's wrong with you and your agent? She says, yeah, Robert, I'm competing with investors. I'm competing with big companies.
Oh my God. With
And
down in
she's
your market too?
yeah, yeah. So we're competing with all these people. So there's really
Wow.
not much that we can do right now. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's really not much you can do, then I'm sorry that you're in that situation. And this is a lady that is kind of like divorce situation. She's gonna start again. And it is just not working out for her. So yeah, I feel
Mm,
bad for her, and she has a bare minimum down payment. So she's gonna have to wait until the market really cools down for her to do something.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a scary times. Tim Sharkey, areas that went up a higher percentage will drop the most. I think Florida is in for I think you meant rude awakening, for a rude awakening. High cost of living, low wages, and a lot move there without understanding the whole picture. I totally agree with you. Florida has been seeing this, the decline for quite some time now, and it just keeps going down. Yep. What do we got here? By design, will Bergen County become bargain county? Wait see what it does. I don't know if it will ever become a bargain there. No, not that's yeah, I don't think so. Vegas is still mostly service jobs. Once all the California folks quit coming, it's going to turn into a buyer's market. You're probably right. So thanks, Cindy. Congrats on selling my rental. Yes, I was getting a little nervous there. Like, oh my God, but it's not over until we walk away from the closing table, and that's on Friday. So let's hope that happens. Trapper Buck again says we need a 50% reduction in housing prices nationally, even get back to high elevated prices. Yeah, listen, this is another thing, Robert, I talk about a lot. People are hoping these prices will come down to pre-pandemic levels. And I think we're past that. We're not.
No, we're not. We're
That's
not.
it. We're done. Like,
No.
5% maybe, or like 10%, but
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
worst case scenario, you probably see a 20% drop, but that means that market, and let's talk about Miami condo market because I have clients that are they're buying that area. I mean, that
Yeah.
market went up by 60%. So a
Yeah.
20% reduction, it's probably nothing for that market right
Mhm.
now. So I don't we will not see 10% is probably what we'll see around. If we see a 50% decrease in the market, that means we really have hit something really bad in the economy,
Yes.
and we are at war with Russia, whatever it's happening, but it's not good news for anybody in any industry if we lose 50% in the housing values, the market.
Exactly. Exactly. Kit, Shelley, Jackie, do you foresee the prices falling also in northern central New Jersey? They probably will come down. We'll probably see a correction. Like Robert was just saying, we're not going to see like a huge reduction unless there's like a major catastrophic economic disaster.
Yep.
But northern central New Jersey, it's as long as there are people in New York City that want to move out, or Brooklyn, Queens, they want to get out. I'm telling you, northern New Jersey is still going to be a hot market. It was hot market before the pandemic, but now it's just, we still get the city people coming over. And that's what drove the prices up. But I am seeing homes sit longer. I'm not seeing too many price reductions just yet, but they're sitting. So eventually they're going to have to bring the prices down. Now, I did a little research today for the next video I'm going to do, and the state of New Jersey, for the month of April, prices were up 14% year over year. Oh my God. And like, you think Jersey, everyone's like, New Jersey, like, you have no idea. Like,
Oh yeah.
you have no idea. It's so crazy. I mean, we never thought it would be this nuts, but yet here we are. Jay Girl, thanks for being here. Real estate market is so local. Where we live in Washington, it can vary from county to county if it's a seller's or buyer's market. That's very true. That's why it's important, if you're interested in selling or buying, you gotta get a local agent to like specific market, county, town, whatever, that knows that market really well. Ty, hey Ty, thanks for being here. Pittsburgh is still a bit high, but a lot of properties are starting to come down, and more are staying on for 30 plus days. Who's working with a realtor decide to wait for December at least. All right, so see, Robert, it's happening. I mean,
Yep.
I love this. People come on here, I got 200 people on right now, and I love that people are just chiming in from all over, giving their feedback. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. So let me just see here. Joe K. Also, many companies realized how much money they save by having everyone work remote. Yep, that is true. What else? I just want to make sure. Oh, one other thing before we move on, Robert. I wanted to share this as well. So Forbes, I love their housing market predictions. I don't know if you ever read Forbes, but they
I
always like,
do.
yeah, okay. So they always do the, when will home prices be affordable again? So they're saying here, experts insist the housing market will improve. Unfortunately, hopeful buyers continue to see a delay in this transformation, thanks partly to inflation, which is taking its sweet time cooling off, further delaying the Federal Reserve from cutting the federal funds rate. But they say here, however, one rate cut could lead to mortgage rates easing enough to improve housing market conditions. For example, a drop in mortgage rates from 6.8 to 6% could significantly increase a buyer's purchasing power, according to a recent Realtor.com and NAR study. But experts don't expect such a drop to happen anytime soon. With mortgage rates remaining around 7%, significant improvements are unlikely in the short term. Will the housing market recover? So it says here, several conditions must unfold. For the best possible outcome, we'd first need to see inventories of homes for sale turn considerably higher. This additional inventory, in turn, would ease the upward pressure on home prices, leveling them off, or perhaps helping them to settle back to somewhat from peak or near peak levels. And of course, mortgage rates would need to cool off, but the timeline for that development seems to be getting more protracted, with rates lingering around 7%. So we keep going back to the reason I brought this up is because I mean, we talk about this all the time. Like, when is it going to be affordable? We need more inventory. Rates need to go down. We need more inventory. The thing is, do you need it's the inventory that's the issue.
Yep.
I appreciate what he's saying. Oh, if the rates drop from 6.8% to 6%, it gives a little more buying power. But then you got every person that's been waiting jumping in, and it's going to drive the prices back up. The only
Exactly.
way to solve this is we got to build more houses, and we got to get, just get people to sell their homes. But this is the issue. People
Yeah.
don't want to give them up.
Yeah, low interest rates is going to be a big issue for buyers right now because it's going to be more competitive again. More people are going to come back
Yep.
into the market. And yeah, and here's the other thing. Some of those people that bought in the last 24 months with the higher interest rates, they probably refinance if it makes sense. And then they're
Yep.
going to stay in those houses. They're not going to be
Yeah.
selling their homes. So
Yep.
they're not going to do that. And if the economic outlook doesn't look convincing for builders, they're not going to build more houses. They're going to keep things where they are because they're just afraid that at some point the market is going to slow down. They're going to have all this inventory, and then they're just going to be like that. And the people that have those 3%ers interest rates from 2020, 2021, when they refi,
Mhm.
I doubt it. There's some of these people are going to sell because it's so unaffordable right now for these people
Yeah.
to sell and go and move to something bigger. So from any angle, the answer is inventory. Any angle
Yep.
you take, look at this. Let's just not try to find a solution that doesn't exist. It is called more inventory, but more inventory means there has to be other options for people to sell that are going to be affordable, and I'm not seeing that anytime soon.
Exactly. Exactly. Or they build more homes too, but that's a whole other discussion. Penny questions: Southern New Jersey still getting many offers over asking. Don't see a crash here, but don't know how long can last. Average buyer can't afford. So you know what I think is happening, Penny, in Southern New Jersey. Southern New Jersey was like probably like the most affordable in the whole state, and now people are just migrating to where the affordable houses are and just driving the prices up. So, uh, you know, it's it's like people are just going wherever they can find a deal.
Mhm.
Cool comic guy. Thanks for being here. When I bought my home in 2020, I was approved for 350K with a 2.6.2. Oh my god. That's insane. I got a
God
home for
bless you.
yeah, really? Man. I got a home for 259K. If I maxed out, I would have an issue right now. Most people max to what the bank approves. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for sharing your story, but that is true. And I tell my clients, if I get first time buyers, I talk to them about you need to get pre-approved. And if they tell you you're approved, say you only want to spend 350 to 400, and they tell you, oh, you're approved for up to 600 or whatever. Like, I tell them, don't do that. Don't take the full amount, what the maximum that you're approved for. Cause you're good. Like in this situation, like he's saying, because if he had done that, he'd be in trouble right now.
Mhm.
Um, I read an article today about I forget, it's like 18 million Americans are house poor
Yep.
right now.
Yep.
I, oh my gosh. And I think like what happened with comic guy here saying that I think people were like, they got these low interest rates and they're like, oh, look at how much I can borrow now. And that's what they did. They bid off more than they can handle.
So you
So
know what? Well, the thing that no news outlet is talking about that I think it's gonna come and be an issue pretty soon, a headache. It's all these people that bought houses that had to overpay, right? So they paid
yeah.
more than they needed to, so they have to borrow more money.
Yep.
They had to, in some cases, cover the appraisal gap. Okay, more money out of pocket, depleting those
Mhm.
reserves. And
Yep.
then they bought the houses without doing inspections. And I'm not talking the houses built in the 90s or early 2000s. This is like 60s, 50s,
Yeah.
70s sometimes. So houses are going to need repairs. Are these
Yeah.
people going to have all the money to do the repairs?
Exactly.
Are they going to have
Yep.
all the means to go do these things? Recently, somebody told me that he's been having the hardest time insuring the house that he's buying because the insurance company does not want to give him insurance because the roof is old. And now they have these satellite images that go and look from the
Yeah.
satellite, and they see the roof and they see this like changing color on the roof. and they're assuming their roof is old. And they said, yeah, we're not going to take a hit for that one. So if either you find someone to replace the roof, the seller gives you some money for you to replace it, but we're not giving insurance. And he calls me, he says, I already checked with like 5 of the big guys out there, and no one is willing to give an insurance. And the ones that will give it to me is 3 times the average cost for the insurance. So
Oh,
that's a whole nother thing that it's going
yes.
to wake up a lot of people.
Yep. Yep. It's oh my God. I feel like you just can't win. You can't win in
You
this
cannot
market. You
win. You
can't.
cannot.
Oh
No.
my gosh. Joe K. Do you also think that many people can't afford to upgrade to a larger house, especially with the interest rates? Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people can't do that. You know, they're staying put. It's
Yep.
really, yeah, it's really sad. Cindy says pre-pandemic prices are a thing of the past unless you're an old 3-story condo on the Florida coast. Yeah, the Florida condos. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, have you been following that?
I have. I
Oh,
have.
those poor people. There was something in the news today. I have to go back and read it. Somebody, a guy, like a 70-something-year-old man was hit with an assessment of like $254,000.
Mhm.
Did you read it? Did you hear about that?
Yep, I heard on the news of that one. Yep.
No, where was that? Was that in Florida?
It was in Florida. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was in Pompano, somewhere near Pompano, somewhere down there.
Oh my gosh. That the poor guy.
Yeah.
Like
But a
Florida's
lot of people actually live in Florida. I mean, these are people with
yeah,
fixed incomes that move to Florida, right?
I know.
Retirement incomes. So they're now having to move and get out of Florida and maybe go to South Carolina or
Yeah.
North Carolina because it's less hectic over there when it comes to the HOA and all their rules.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Oh, okay. Kitty Mama, thanks for being here. How do I find out the amount of inventory available in my area? I'm hesitant to contact an agent, as in the past I ended up with agents circling like sharks around
Sharks.
chum. You can always look on Zillow. I
Hmm.
mean, that's what I tell people. Truly a Zillow, you know, I as much as I have my thing with Zillow. I mean, if you want to see everything that's on the MLS is on Zillow, so you can just look there and you can see what's on the market. That's the
Just don't
easiest
fill
way.
out a form. Don't fill out a form because those sharks are going to be after you.
Yeah, yeah. You think you think the agents are bad, or regular
Yeah.
agents? You get somebody from Zillow, forget it, forget it. Jane Gray, question: the prices on Long Island are through the roof. What do you foresee for this market? There are multiple offers on houses, and there's only so much land here. Yeah, it sounds so. Long Island, I'd imagine, it's similar to what we're experiencing here in New Jersey. People getting out of the city, and they're going out to Long Island as well. I think that's part of the problem. You just people just a migration of New Yorkers, the
Hmm.
city folk. So
Hmm.
I listen. What do I foresee for that? I mean, it'll probably maybe you'll see a price correction, but from my experience, what we've seen here in New Jersey, Northern New Jersey, I mean, a lot of these people from New York City, they have money and they can afford
Yep.
to go over ask, and that's what they're doing. So, yeah, I mean, I can't tell you when this is going to change, but my gut is telling me that's what's going on Long Island. It's a city migration. So we have hello, Charlton. Welcome back. Where do you buy your house any condition? Wait, why do buy your house any condition always pick up in economic troubles? Oh, you're talking about like those companies just like make a cash offer. Do you know what I'm talking
Mhm.
about, Robert?
Mhm. Yeah, yep,
We'll
yep,
buy your
yep,
house and whatever.
yep.
Um, that's interesting. I've never noticed that there are any more during an economic distress, economic troubles. I've never noticed that any more of that than any other time. Do you? I
Yeah,
mean,
I haven't seen them. I think back in 2008 when the market meltdown was, probably
yeah,
saw some opportunities, but I don't think they have. It's so competitive right now that I don't think they have any opportunities to go
yeah,
after.
right, right, exactly. New Jersey prices are exploding because New Yorkers are willing to pay anything to escape the city's decline. It's so true. It's
Yep.
so true. Um, is 50% increase of home prices reasonable in 5 years in Buck County near New Jersey border? I could see prices were 250. Now it's listed for 380. I'm worried to buy now and the prices come down. So I get this a lot, and I'm sure you do too, Robert. People are like, oh, I'm going to buy now and then it crashes. If this is your forever home, I would not be stressing out over that
Yep.
because yeah, there's going to be bumps, there's going to be dips in the market. The prices will come down, over the length of time that you're going to live there. But in the end, the house will appreciate. The value will increase
Yep.
unless there's a catastrophic economic disaster. But
Yep.
yeah, right. Am I right? I mean, if
Yeah,
you're
you're
going to buy
right.
this house, you're in here 15, 20 years, it's going to appreciate.
Yeah, you're right. If you're gonna be there for that long, don't worry about it. Don't think about timing the market.
Yeah.
Do it,
Oh,
buy it, enjoy it. Now, if for some reasons you think that you're gonna have to relocate for job purposes or whatever it is, or military things, then I will say, yeah, be careful with that and look at your different
yes.
options, especially when it comes to financing. But don't
Yep.
get over creative with financing too, because that can be very tricky too.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Yes, be careful with that. Anna Max, real estate is local, but is there any national trends that can spread from area to area and spread nationwide? Is there any cross contamination effects? Well, look, we're seeing the reduction. We've been seeing the price reductions in like Austin, Vegas, Florida, even other parts of Texas. So it is starting to affect the other markets. As you saw in the article, it says 46 out of 50 metro areas have seen price reductions. So it may take a while. I mean, maybe by the end of the year, we'll see more of it. More towns and markets will see more price reductions. But yeah, I think it definitely will. I mean, this is impacting everybody. These interest rates, the way they are, and there's no houses for sale, and where are people going to move to? Yeah, it's affecting everybody.
Yep. I mean, it's right now. If you the recent article I read over the weekend, Canada, they're really in trouble. Their housing market, their prices are just out of control. People cannot afford their houses, and
Yep.
now the defaults are increasing rapidly, like crazy increase, like
Mm-hmm.
Ontario. So yeah, this is something that we're not. China housing market is in trouble right now. There is like hundreds of buildings that are being abandoned because they cannot complete because they don't have the buyers anymore.
Yeah, that's scary. Very scary. So Jane says, I would love to sell my house, but there's just nowhere else to go. I'm stuck here with my low interest rate. This is why we're in the situation we're in.
Yep.
Because people can't afford to move on to the next house. They can't. Why would you? So get this one. I was at a graduation party this weekend and I was talking to a woman there. She's single. She's owned her condo, I think, for like 15 years now. She's refinanced it twice, and I think the current rate she got is like a little over 2%. She took advantage during the pandemic. She goes, where am I going? She goes, my mortgage payment. She's got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in Central Jersey. Her mortgage payment is $1,300 a month.
Oh my gosh.
She goes, where
Unheard
am
of.
I going?
Yep.
And this is why.
Yep. Yep.
You're right. Yeah. Oh my
There are not
God.
affordable solutions in the near future for people like them to downsize or just move to other locations where it's
Yeah.
cheaper to live.
Yeah.
So they're going to be forced to stay in these areas, although they are prisoners of their homes that they don't want to be in any longer. Some
You're
of them
right.
they are.
You are so right. Oh my gosh. Yep. Mike says, why aren't developers building starter homes? I only see new homes starting at 400 or higher. That's a really good question. I would love to see more of that. I mean, here in New Jersey, it's tough. We don't have a lot of land to build on, but like in other parts of the country, I would love to see more of these like first time homes, for like starter homes for people. But yeah, I mean, even down in Delaware where we have our property, they're building like crazy down there, taking over farmlands and building these big communities. And some, now depending on what part of the state, some prices are like 300, to 350 starting. But then you get further down south, like towards the beaches and stuff, you're talking like $400,000, $500,000, for a brand new house.
Mhm.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I don't know. It's crazy. Fred says, I've heard some people are waiting to see what happens with the election, regardless who wins. Could there be a spike in buying after November? Yes, Fred, I'm glad you brought that up. Historically, So the January after the election, right? So an election happens in November. That following January, the market kind of explodes. Like that's
Yep.
historically, right, Robert? I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So that's happened since whatever, God, all these years, like every time we had an election. So that very well could happen. But I don't know. I mean, the affordability is so out of control. Eh, Yeah, like I was saying, the prices won't be able to come down that much. And we have your Andrew. I'm not giving up my 3% rate here in Indiana anytime soon. I don't blame you.
Yeah, me neither. I don't blame you, Andrew. Hold on to that one because it's not coming back.
Yeah, no, it ain't coming back. You got to keep that. Keep that. Like that woman I met this weekend. I couldn't believe her mortgage payment $1,300 a month. Like that's cheaper than rent.
Yeah,
That's
it
cheaper
is.
than rent here in New Jersey. It's crazy. Cool Comic Guy says, same builder that built my home are still building now and getting $350K starting. My home was built in 2018, bought for $259. Oh my gosh. Isn't that crazy? Just a mere 6 years ago. Ay, ay, ay. All right.
Yeah, but the cost of building houses have gone up like crazy. I mean, lumber,
Oh,
labor, concrete. I mean, all that stuff is just through the roof
I
right
know.
now. Yeah, that's part of the bigger problem here too.
Yep.
Live in
Yep.
Maryland. Hey, in my
Hey,
town.
somebody from
Yeah.
Maryland, from your neck of the woods, got my
Yeah.
house just after COVID for $90K. Probably got a good time because it feels like prices are getting higher now. Not terrible where I live, but I'm in a poorer area. But hey, you're in a house, you paid under $100,000 for it.
You're lucky one.
You're doing just fine. Very lucky. Snow says, is there any hope for North New Jersey prices to correct in the next year or two? I'm hoping. I'm hoping for that. Like I said, I'm seeing homes sitting longer, but I don't see as many reductions yet. But I think the reductions will start coming. I think there will be a little bit of a shift. I'm hoping for that. Dan, we had an inspection done on our first home. We are trying to buy, has some floor sag issues, central AC and heat, needs cold side fix, needs a corrugated roof, vent rubber boot. 127,500. Was that the cost of the house or the repairs that you need?
Jeez.
I hope that's not the repairs, because that's
I
cost
hope not.
repairs. I would be walking away from that house. No way. Let me see. Oh no, it's the price of the house. He says here 127.5. He pays all closing costs, but after inspection, we were asking him to make those 2 repairs. Also, 2 sinks leak. Hope he fixes everything. We love the property. I wish you the best of luck. I hope the seller does come through and take care of all that for you. Yeah. That's the other thing too. So Robert, are you having people waiving inspections anymore? Is that still going on?
I would say until probably the end of May, yes, there was a lot of people waiving inspections. Now, not as much, and I've seen some buyers willing to walk away if they lose the house because of the seller did not want to take it because of the home inspection. They're okay with that. They want to have that peace of mind, even if it's just for informational purposes. We're not going to ask for any repairs. They still want to have those things. The walk and talks, I don't know if that's common in your area, but the walk and talks with inspectors are no longer something that buyers are interested. They really want a full-blown inspection.
Oh, okay. So we do full-blown inspections when we do one. When we
Yeah,
have inspection. Now it's
no, here for the
so
less.
so talk to me about that walk and talk. It's
Yeah.
not even like a full inspection?
Yeah, it's not a full inspection. So in essence, the inspector comes with a buyer. Average inspection is between like 3 hours to 4 hours for us around here for a house under 4,000 square feet. On a
Yeah.
walk and talk, you have the inspector for a 1 hour with you, and they just basically do just a walk and talk outside. You, as the buyer, is taking notes of everything the inspector is it's pointing out that they can see from the outside. And
Okay.
then and that's it. There is no report, no pictures. It's other the professional opinion. It's very affordable. It's if a full-blown inspection is $499, the walk and talk is probably $199. But at least from siding, windows, roof, chimney,
Yeah.
and all those big ticket items, a buyer gets some comments from a professional, and some buyers just say, okay, fine, that's enough, peace of mind, I'll make the offer and waive the home inspection. Now others will go for the full-blown home inspection, and before they submit an offer, or pre-inspections, and then just go that. But walk and talks have been pretty popular for us here for the last 18 months to 2 years.
Wow, I never heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah, very common.
Gosh, wow.
Especially when you know, buyer agent calling listing agent and they said, hey, yeah, we have I'm expecting 10 offers, right? You call your buyer immediately, said, hey, the only option for you to have some peace of mind is to do a walk and talk, and you can do it without asking any permission because it's from the outside of the house. You don't go inside.
Wow. Holy cow.
Yep.
No, we don't have that up here. That's so funny.
Oh yeah, that's what I was telling earlier. Wait until these home repairs start to come to the point where these people need to come out with $20,000 for a new roof.
Yep.
And that's yikes. That's going to be a whole nother thing.
It's going to be a big problem. And like you said, with the homeowners insurance too, now they're getting their policies canceled on them. I talked about this a while ago. I saw one of our local mom Facebook groups was like in panic because a month after she closed her house, she lost her homeowners insurance because of the roof.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
And those HOAs that we kind of hate, right? Everybody hates.
Oh, yeah.
They're also sending notices. If they see that your roof is not in good repair, they're sending you a notice and they can impose a fine. So now you're dealing with insurance, HOAs, condos. I mean, all these people are going after your property. And if you stretch yourself to buy it, you know, it's sad. It's really sad where we are. There is hope. This is not all doom and gloom, but there should be some hope for certain buyers right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Cool Comic Guy. The property tax jump for new buyers are shocking. Most do not understand the rate changes when they buy. And if the home has gone up 50% since the last sold, the increases are crazy. Yes, this is another issue. The property taxes. So I talked about this in a couple of videos ago where this is an issue for people. They bought, and now that the properties are getting reassessed, and they're reassessed at the new market value. And these taxes are insane, insane. Yeah. So it's oh God, it's a problem. Let me see. I love the comments tonight. You guys never disappoint. You never disappoint.
Oh yeah, so very good comments.
So, was I right, Robert? Come on.
Yeah.
Do I have like the best audience?
Great
I do.
Comments.
Dallas says, hey, Jackie and Robert, first time buyer making an offer today on a small studio condo, $100,000 in Chicago suburbs at 350 square feet, but it's way better than paying rent. I've always rented studios, used to it. Good for you.
Yeah.
Go for it. If you're in that position, you can do it, then do it. That's what I tell people when everyone's like, should I buy a house? If the timing's right, you had the means, then do it. You got to go on your like your timeline and your ability to buy, right? So, my God, so many. Let me see here.
Full-time job there, just to read all the comments.
Yeah, I know, right? Clever says waiving inspection in Southern California happens often. There's usually 10 plus offers on a home, and you need to do whatever you can to win. Yep, and watch when these people have to do these repairs. So Robert, I'm sure you're aware, I do a podcast with Jen Sylvester at Reddit Real Estate Disasters, and we're reading all of these stories from buyers just in the past couple of years and the nightmares they're having. And a lot of them were ones who waived inspections or limited inspections, and or the inspector just missed big things. And they're stuck with like, $20, $30, $50,000 in repairs, shortly after they close on the house. So it's it's going to be quite scary. Hey, Charlie, thanks for being here. A question: do you think or foresee the government will require homeowners to transform their homes into more energy efficient homes and have them install solar panels to their homes? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, quite honestly. But the whole solar thing now, the solar panels, I don't know. They didn't take off that well. I don't know if you have a lot of homes in your market, Robert, with solar panels. We don't have that many, and people are turned off by them because you're leasing them. So the new owner has to take over that. That's an added expense.
Yeah, and they put a lien against your property. In our area, they have to put a lien against the property. And sometimes, especially if you have put a new roof, some people say like, we're going to put a roof and then we put the panels. Sometimes that can also void the roof warranty that you have from the person, the company that came, because somebody else have to come and drill holes on that roof to secure the brackets for those panels. So I don't foresee panels taking off as people expect that they will. And sometimes they even look ugly from the front, from the curb appeal. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be any mandate to force people to do those things.
I don't think so. I mean, but look, you never know. You never know. You just never know. Cool comic guy again. I love all the comments from you tonight. Do not do solar if you need a new roof. It's a headache you do not want. Yep. All right. Thank you for that. Kay Lepine, the regulations on HVAC manufacturers have tightened. I bought a new one last year and the filters are enormous, also expensive. What else is new? Like what? See, they make changes, they make regulations, and it costs the consumer more money.
They want to make more money.
Yep. Let me just go back. I was making sure I'm not missing anybody. Kit says here, are there laws to prevent property taxes from going up too much too quickly? Now, most states, like here in Jersey, we have a cap of 2%. So they can't go any higher than 2% in a year. And I think California was the same as well. I'm not sure about other states, but how is it down by you?
It's about the same. Yeah, like a 1.9, not 1.88%.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But even so, I mean, so it's 2%, and then the next year or whenever they do so that's the other thing. You have to find out when the reassessment cycles are. So some municipalities will reassess every year. Some will reassess every 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. You have to see when that cycle is. So you're aware of when those taxes are going to go up. So many years ago, we lived in New York State, right outside New York City. And the community, the town we were in, the school district we were in, there was a power plant there. And the power plant carried the bulk of the taxes. So our property taxes, so that's why we bought our first house there. Our taxes was like $5,000 a year. I'm like, this is awesome. So the power plant sold it to a company in Texas, and they challenged the taxes. They were like, why is the company paying all these property taxes for this town? Took the town and the school district to court. The school district and town lost. Our taxes tripled. Went up to $15,000 over a 2-year period. I was going to die.
Yeah.
And
for those that want to fight their assessment, be very, very careful, because technically speaking, they don't assess your property to the full value. I think they only can assess up to 80% of the value of the property. So if you're going to go for fighting assessment of your taxes right now, be very careful, because if you lose, they can come back and charge even higher. So just be careful. Investigate well with your website for the appeal process, just to make sure that you're doing the right thing. Otherwise, I've seen so many like bad stories of people now having to pay more, and there is no way back to, okay, give me the old rate. There's no way to go back to that one.
Oh my gosh. See, that I didn't know about, but I know like when you do, like I've heard people up here challenge their property taxes. They're like, oh, we got a reduction, but you got to go back every year to challenge it. It doesn't stay that way. Yeah. It'll go right back up again. Yep. So 10, hey, Jackie, Bergen County resident here. Am I the only one who thinks this area is still on fire? Most houses are still going over asking, and I see no slowdown coming soon. Yeah. Bergen County particularly. Yes, we're still a hot market, although in a couple of towns I was looking at today, homes are sitting. There's definitely homes sitting longer, but no, like not as many reductions. But I'm sure there's certain towns like Ridgewood. Ridgewood is like so flipping popular. Everybody wants to live there. So I mean, Ridgewood's still really hot. You have, I would say Allendale, Ramsey, like those towns are really hot still. Is it going to calm down? I'm hoping, for the other towns that I researched today, that the homes are sitting longer. Hopefully we'll start seeing some reductions there. Let's just hope it spreads like we were saying before, like it was spreading across the country. Jeff Underwood. Hey, Jeff, thanks for being here. With 18 million households who are house poor, if inflation continues to run hot and expenses and maintenance keep going up, unfortunately, there will be a lot of Americans who will struggle.
Yep.
Yes. And not to add fuel to the fire, but God forbid there's job losses, right? I mean, look at all the tech companies that have been laying off people.
Mm-hmm.
If we see more of that, we're yeah, it's going to be really bad. The I'm Batman says, oh, they're more likely to require better insulation in houses than going back to the solar panel question. They're more likely to require better insulation in houses than solar panels, at least in new builds, I hope. That makes more sense than requiring solar panels. So 10 says 10. Oh, you're from Closter. Closter's hot because Closter's near New York City. It's an easy commute. So that's why that town is hot. So there you have it. So Robert, what do you feel? Do you think, I mean, I know you said it's cooling down in your neck of the woods. Are you feeling good that there's going to be a correction?
There will be a correction. I feel good. Honestly, I think there is still a good number of buyers out there that could potentially still buy a house if prices will have a slight correction, because prices just went up too much for them, and debt to income ratio, they just don't feel comfortable. So a 5 to 10% correction, I think it's welcome. Really, really welcome. Sellers should not be complaining they're losing any money because their prices they've been seeing double-digit increase in the last 3-4 years. So I don't think they should be complaining. So a 5-10% correction, we really welcome. I think we need it. More than 10% correction, it could potentially have some headaches for certain sectors of the housing market in some states, depending on the price point. But a correction, it's due now.
Yes, it's been due for a long time. It just, yeah, I welcome it. I really do. I feel my clients, it's so stressful. It's just so stressful. And, every time they send me a house to look at and they're like, what do you think? I'm like, well, I can tell by looking at showing time that there's 1 million showings booked already, and this is going to sell like tomorrow.
Yep.
Like I don't want to have to do that anymore. I don't want to have to say that to my clients. It's I'm tired of that. I want them to be able to get an offer accepted.
Yep.
So buy now or wait. This is what I say every week. If you are in a position where you're able to buy and the timing is right for you, then buy. I can't tell you what to do. You have to go by your own personal situation. And if you're ready for it, you can afford it. You have your down payment, your closing costs, and you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months saved, then do it. That's my shtick. That's what I'll tell you. So Kay Lapine says, my in-laws are trying to sell their house in Phoenix. They just cut their price $25K, still haven't gotten offers. They might have to cut it more. I hate to say that. So Clever says here, it's funny how market specific it is. I don't see San Diego slowing down anytime soon. Yeah, you're right. It's totally market specific. I mean, New Jersey's still hot. I'm hoping, things are going to change, but yeah. Charlie says, question, is there any way to incorporate the land tax with your property tax? I think it's all in the same.
Yeah, there's already part of it. Yeah, they do an assessment for the land and assessment for the bill.
The house. Exactly. Yeah. It's all the same. Yep. Francis. Hi, Francis. Biggest housing bubble of all time is about to pop. Why are people so FOMO? Listen, I hope it doesn't burst and we get into a big crash. We can't have 2008 happen again. That can't happen. Let's see. Most people already bought homes during COVID time. That's why there are not many buyers. No, there's still a lot of buyers. There's just not enough houses for sale. Yep. That's the issue. It's too much demand, not enough supply. And that's why we are in this situation we are in. None of your business. North Carolina is still hot. See, that's funny because that article said that Charlotte is seeing price
cooling down.
reductions. Yeah, they're going down. So, Rare Form Designs, Northern New Jersey is booming. Yes, it is. It's been for a long time. It's getting still very expensive up here. So let me just do this last one here. Ricky says, if solar panels are integrated into the initial building, then usually goes well. Aftermarket installs can be problematic if not done correctly. And there are a lot of hacks out there. Yes. Thank you for sharing that, for that bit of knowledge there. Francis says it will be worse in 2008, but not for the same reasons. I hope you're wrong. I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. So anyway, so Robert, this has been amazing. I really appreciate you being here. It's been an hour already.
You. I know, cannot believe it. And we can probably go another hour reading all these comments.
I know, we can go on for days. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. No, thank you.
No, it's great.
Thank you.
No, I appreciate you being here. So I just want to share with everybody, if you're interested in the Maryland, DC area, please check out Robert's channel, Next Level Living Guidance. He has an amazing channel, great content. And if you need a realtor in that market, I highly suggest you reach out to Robert.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, he's got a great team, and he will be happy to assist. And to let everybody know, again, I do this every week. You're probably sick of hearing me say this, but if you need to if you would like a referral for an agent, please go on my website, go down to the form, please fill that out. I will get back to you within 24 hours. I've been a little lacking lately, and I apologize. It's been so busy. My daughter just graduated high school last week. Thank God. It's been hell past month with all the senior activities and stuff. So I'm on the other side now. I can breathe. I can do all the things. I can have my life back. So anyway, so awesome. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was oh my God, great conversation as always. I appreciate all the comments. Robert, I'd love to have you back again. This is awesome. I so appreciate you being here. All right.
We'll do it again. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome. Everybody have a great night and a great week. We'll see you next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.